Hi, I'm Mike with House on the Mend, and in this video we're going to be reviewing the Litheli dual battery leaf blower with the very innovative U20 battery platform. So let's get started.
House on the Mend.
Now, full disclosure, I'm not paid nor sponsored by Litheli. They did reach out to me and sent me this unit plus the two batteries that are included for free for my independent review. This is my fifth tool that I have reviewed for them, but I have never been paid for any of these videos. Let's unbox it and see what comes inside. And the Litheli packaging continues to be excellent. You've got the main product box within a box that was within an Amazon box when it was shipped and delivered to me. All right, here's everything that comes in the great packaging. You have the blower unit itself, very sleek looking. I love this white, black with the orange accent. I was showing all my Litheli tools that I still have and use to a friend of mine, and he commented that they look like something Tesla would make. Here's the nozzle. It's got a little spot on the bottom so that when it's attached and it rests, it'll be on these feet up front and this little foot here. And would you look at this, written right on the battery itself now, it says 4 amp hour. So you're gonna see my overview of the batteries here in a moment. And one of the things I talked about their early generation was there was no markings on them exactly what the size of the battery was. You had to go down here and do the math. But that's not the case anymore. They listened and now they clearly mark them 4 amp hour batteries. Nice 4 amp hour battery size, that's gonna be great. And those are gonna go right in here. So the little notch right here, that is the battery holder, goes on the inside. 1 and 2. From the shipper, we're getting 3 out of 4 bars, so that should be enough for us to hear what it sounds like here. Assembly couldn't be easier. You simply click it into place. And unlike some of the other ones that I have reviewed, you can easily take it off and then put it back on whenever you need to use it. That's much better than the Black & Decker that wouldn't come off at all. I had lots of folks complain about that. All right, we have 2 buttons here. This one right up on the thumb part of the handle says push for max speed. It also just turns like a potentiometer. That's interesting. And then we have the trigger. Let's hear what it sounds like. Wow. Well, there's a lot of differentiation there that can go with this dial. That's pretty impressive. I also like that it's you don't have a physical switch. It's really easy. Pull the trigger. There are many times where I like to get into little corners and just blow just a little bit to get that moving in that corner. Then I start motioning with the unit to back and forth like this to sweep all that stuff out of the way. I love having that much control. There is more lag time in it than on my Ryobi unit. You see that? But otherwise, super easy assembly, beautiful, sleek unit. And let's get a weight on it. This is my little luggage scale that I use for all my tool reviews. So fully loaded with the 2 batteries, it is 7.8 pounds. Couldn't be much easier to remove the batteries. You simply press this button right here. They both pop out and have a slight spring load on the bottom, easy to remove. All right, for those of you that have watched my Litheli review videos before, you can skip past the overview of the battery platform and go to this spot right down here at the bottom of your screen. Otherwise, if you're new to Litheli products and you want to learn about these fantastic batteries and what it takes to charge them, we're doing that next. All right, let's take a closer look at this very sleek battery that you get. It's got the same sort of carbon fiber graphic along the sides of it. On the top of the battery, you get a battery life indicator. I love that. We can see here out of the package, we have 3 out of 4 bars. Now on the other side, if you look at this picture here, you will see a standard USB port. There is a negative and a positive port. Those are the ones that go into the tool. And you have a USB-C port here. So this battery is multifunctional. Not only can it run your tool at 20 volts, but it also has a USB and a USB-C output of 5 volts to charge any of your electronic devices, such as your phone, or in my case, camera gear, which is really, really cool. I have seen attachments that go on some of the major tool brands batteries, and with that attachment you can charge electronics, but it's rare to see a battery that has 2 ports for that kind of thing already built in. Now, speaking of the USB-C port, which is the one to the far right of this face of the battery, that is the port that you charge this tool with. So there's no cradle or any other charger. You can charge this with a standard household USB-C charger. In fact, the battery comes with this cable right here that is pretty cool. Not only is it a USB to USB-C, so you can charge with it, or you can charge other things with it, but this one actually breaks free here, folds back, and you have USB-C to C. That's really cool that they include that. Now, speaking of charging, what you're looking at here are 3 very common household chargers. This little guy here is only 5 3/4 watts. This Amazon one is 9, and then this Apple one is the largest of them all, charging at 10 watts. However, if you look on the bottom of the battery and you read the data, you'll see right here that this battery can be charged at a maximum of 45 watts. So that's 4 times the power of even our largest household charger. So my recommendation is not to use household chargers, but instead to buy one of these. I got this one off of Amazon. It is a 45 watt charger, and it is not very expensive. It looks like any other charger, but when you deplete these big batteries down, this will charge it in a quarter of the time that a charger like this would. Here are some name brand batteries that you're probably aware of, and if you look at the actual perimeter of the Litheli battery, you'll see it's just slightly bigger than some of the batteries. However, if you look at this view, you'll see that it is thinner than all of the competitor batteries. All right, with our 45 watt charger, I'll plug into the battery, and you can see we immediately start getting a readout on the battery life indicator. 3 of the bars are solid, and we have 1 blinking bar. So up until now, I've blown the patio off a couple times. You saw me blowing out the ramp for our moving truck. And now you just saw a montage of me using those same two batteries to mow the lawn, then to weed eat, and then to blow the area. And all of that work thus far has only lowered the battery by 50%. So it's been another week, and I just mowed the lawn again, went through all three tools. Same original charge. We're down to 1 and none. But we got done quick enough that right before the sprinklers come on, I've got time to fertilize. And even with 1 bar and no bars, I still have enough power left to blow off the fertilizer. And a turbo. Let's try a turbo. Yes. Well, that is certainly enough testing for me to give you my pros and cons. First of all, the pros. As with all of the Litheli tools that I have tested, the build quality is excellent and the battery life is fantastic. In fact, you saw that montage where I used all the tools to go through our nice little patch of lawn here multiple times, all on a single charge with these two batteries. I love the fact that you can just pop them in and out really easy. I enjoy that very much. A little behind the scenes secret, I test a lot of tools that are sent to me for free on this channel, and most of them I do end up giving away to friends and family. However, as you can see here, I have purposely kept all of these Litheli tools because they are among the favorites that I have ever reviewed. Another pro that I've stated in most of my reviews as well is the battery platform. I really like this battery, the innovative design. I love the ease with which you can tell the battery life that's left. I love being able to use them to charge portable devices, especially when you're a YouTuber. Comes in really, really handy. Another feature that I honestly thought would be a gimmick is the dial, to dial up and down the power of the leaf blower. Now, admittedly, I did use it for most of the work on full blast, and then even pressed on the boost button, the maximum speed button, to give a little extra boost if things were clinging to the concrete. But it could have been very useful for me on a recent project at our new house here in Utah when I applied the epoxy coating and the full flake on our garage floors. Now, I did use for that project what was up until now my favorite leaf blower, the rigid 18-volt blower. And I would cast the flake and then go behind it and blow some of the flake around, and I was able to more effectively utilize the bag of flake that I had purchased rather than waiting for everything to dry and then having all of that leftover flake that didn't adhere to the epoxy just be a waste. There were certain circumstances where there was too much power on the blower, and I did notice that it blew like little streaks into the casting of the of the flake, whereas if I would have been able to dial that power down, that is a time where it would have been great to have that feature. The final pro for me is the air speed and air volume coming out of this blower, the power that it has. As I was using it, I could tell it was among the most powerful I had ever used, and it actually caused me to go in and research the specifications. Now, this unit has 560 cubic feet per minute at 112 miles per hour at its full speed. Now, to give you a comparison, this was my favorite, this rigid. It has 105 miles per hour, but it has half of the cubic feet per minute. The volume of air being blown out is far less, and you can tell when you're using it. So this one is just really impressive, and that's another reason why I think the dial in certain circumstances is not a gimmick but could be a feature, is because it is so powerful. Now the cons, and thankfully there's only two. First of all, when you're using the blower, this back area here is slightly indented, and just the way you hold it when you're using it, especially with shorts, it sucks your clothing in and lowers the volume. You have to pull your clothing away and make it a point to hold the unit away. That is something I've never noticed with any of my other leaf blowers, but then again, it's double the power. So perhaps that's just something you have to live with, but it was noticeable and it happened to me a lot. And secondly would be the release button for the batteries. I found to be very difficult to operate. You have to be holding the unit and be right here where kind of your muscle and strength base is to release the battery. For instance, if you have it on the ground, it's almost impossible to release those two batteries. I found it very difficult. So folks that have arthritis or issues with hand strength are going to notice that that button is a lot more difficult to operate than some of the other Litheli tools that had the button that protruded or stood proud of the unit itself, making it a lot easier to eject the batteries. So if you found this video helpful, will you please give it a thumbs up? It really helps the YouTube algorithms to start suggesting this video to more viewers like you. Also, please consider subscribing. I work really hard to put out good quality content. We've just moved into a new house where the backyard is completely unfinished. The inside has an unfinished basement, so there's going to be a lot of content coming that is new and something we couldn't do at our house in Las Vegas that was pretty much finished with a very established landscape. I'm going to leave a link for this unit, two different types of links. One, I'm going to give you their direct link to their website. It's a very good website where you can see all their battery platforms. But I'll also leave an Amazon affiliate link for this unit. Now, if you click on that and end up making a purchase, full disclosure, it doesn't cost you a thing, but I do get a small reward at the end of the month. Now, I would just go directly to Litheli's website, but if you feel more confident with the return policies that Amazon has and the speed of delivery, then I'm going to leave that link for you as well. I did notice there's two different leaf blowers that Litheli has that are very similar looking. One is this with the 2 battery, the other is the single battery. That single battery has 380 cubic feet per minute, which is far less than this unit, but still much more powerful than most of the leaf blowers. So I would check that one out too. Since you're not getting both, both batteries, it is a little bit less expensive. But the one I'm reviewing and the one I'm vouching for is this dual battery unit. So until next time, thank you for watching.